When pursuing my passion exposed my cousin's true colors. Taking a gap year to follow my passion for photography was one of the most thrilling and terrifying decisions I'd ever made. I grew up in a family of high achievers, doctors, engineers, and Ivy League graduates who valued tradition and stability above all else. As the creative black sheep, I always felt a little out of place, but I never let it stop me from dreaming big. The idea of dedicating a year to photography was exhilarating, but I knew it would ruffle feathers. What I didn't expect, however, was that my greatest opposition would come from my cousin Lauren, the so-called golden child of our family. Lauren was everything I wasn't: valedictorian, Ivy League student, and the star of every family gathering. She was the person my relatives always compared me to, the one held up as an example of success. Growing up, I admired her. But as we got older, admiration turned into unease. It felt as if she viewed me as competition, a threat to her perfect image. And soon, her actions would prove it. The announcement. It all started during a family dinner when I announced my gap year plans. My parents, though initially hesitant, agreed to support me. But Lauren's reaction was icy, her disapproval barely veiled. "A gap year for photography," she said, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "Isn't that just an excuse to avoid doing real work?" Her words stung, but I stood my ground. "I've been saving up for this. I want to build my portfolio and take workshops to grow as a photographer. It's not just for fun." Lauren raised an eyebrow, a smug smile playing on her lips. "Sure," she said. "But don't be surprised when you're a year behind everyone else." Her comments lingered in my mind, but I refused to let them deter me. Over the next few months, I poured every ounce of energy into my craft. I took online courses, practiced tirelessly, and began sharing my work on social media. To my surprise, my photos resonated with people. My follower count grew steadily, and soon I was getting requests for photo shoots and collaborations with local businesses. The undermining begins. As my success grew, so did Lauren's disdain. Her passive-aggressive remarks became a regular feature at family events. "Still taking pictures of flowers?" she'd ask, feigning interest. Or worse, "Must be nice to have so much free time." But her words were only the beginning. One evening at a family gathering, she casually mentioned that a friend of hers had tried to book me for a shoot but found my rates too high. "Maybe you should lower your prices," she said with a smirk. "You're just starting out after all." I knew she was lying. I hadn't received any such inquiry, but I let it slide. I told myself it wasn't worth the confrontation. The attack. Then things took a darker turn. One morning, I woke up to find an anonymous account accusing me of stealing other photographers' work. The account linked to vaguely similar images and claimed to have proof of plagiarism. My heart sank as the accusations gained traction, and my follower count began to drop. Panicked, I spent hours comparing the alleged stolen photos to my own. It was obvious the claims were baseless, but the damage had already been done. Determined to clear my name, I contacted the platform, providing evidence that my work was original. After a grueling wait, the account was suspended, and my name was cleared. But the ordeal left me shaken. The idea that someone could so casually try to destroy what I'd worked so hard for was devastating. And then came the bombshell. A mutual friend let it slip that Lauren had been complaining about my undeserved success, calling my achievements unfair for what she deemed just a hobby. My stomach turned. Was Lauren behind the fake account? The idea seemed too cruel to be true, but I needed to know. When jealousy turned into sabotage, how I overcame my cousin's toxic actions. My journey of pursuing my passion for photography took a sharp and unexpected turn when jealousy came knocking at my door, wrapped in the guise of my cousin, Lauren. What started as subtle disapproval morphed into full-blown sabotage. But in the end, her schemes only exposed her true colors and fueled my growth. The discovery. It all began with a series of odd, anonymous accusations online. A troll account accused me of stealing other photographers' work, linking to images that vaguely resembled mine. The allegations quickly spread, threatening to undo all the progress I had made. After hours of comparison and collecting evidence, I proved the claims were baseless, and the account was suspended. But the question lingered: who would go to such lengths to discredit me? The answer was closer than I expected. After hearing whispers from a mutual friend that Lauren had been complaining about my success, I decided to investigate. A deep dive into her social media revealed subtle breadcrumbs, comments she had liked, accounts she had followed, and eventually, a key link. I stumbled upon an old email address she had used years ago to sign up for a website. That same email was tied to the troll account that had tried to ruin me. The confrontation. When I confronted her, Lauren's initial reaction was denial. She laughed, brushing it off as absurd. But when I laid out the evidence, her mask slipped. "So what if it was me?" she snapped, her voice dripping with venom. "You're so full of yourself, acting like you're better than everyone else just because you have a few followers. Someone had to put you in your place." Her words left me reeling. "You think this is about me being better than you? Lauren, I've never once compared myself to you. You're the one who's been tearing me down from the start." She rolled her eyes, her anger bubbling over. "You wouldn't understand. You've always had it easy, doing whatever you want, while the rest of us actually work for our success." Her confession hit me like a punch to the gut. This wasn't just jealousy. It was resentment. Lauren wasn't angry about my photography. She was angry that I had the courage to pursue my dreams while she felt trapped in a life she didn't love. The fallout. I told her she needed to make things right, to apologize publicly and admit what she had done. But she refused. "I'm not ruining my reputation over this," she said coldly. So, I took matters into my own hands. I recorded a video addressing the situation, not naming her directly, but explaining what had happened. I shared how I'd cleared my name, the toll it had taken, and the lessons I'd learned. The response was overwhelming. My followers rallied behind me, offering words of encouragement and support. The ordeal that was meant to break me ended up boosting my profile instead. Lauren, however, wasn't finished. A few weeks later, she began spreading rumors within our family, claiming I was exaggerating my success and lying about my income. But this time, I was ready. I calmly presented receipts, literal evidence of my work and earnings. Her lies unraveled before her eyes, and the family began to see her for who she truly was. Karma strikes. As my photography career flourished, I landed a feature in a local magazine and even showcased my work at an exhibition. Lauren's world began to crumble. At her prestigious job, her habit of cutting corners and taking credit for others' ideas finally caught up with her. A colleague called her out, leading to a formal reprimand. Shortly after, she left the company under a cloud of disgrace, her reputation in shambles. I'd be lying if I said I felt no satisfaction in seeing her face the consequences of her actions. But more than anything, I felt relief. Her shadow no longer loomed over me, and I was free to focus on what truly mattered, my passion and my future. A lesson in resilience. This experience taught me more than I could have imagined. It showed me that following your dreams isn't just about hard work, it's about resilience in the face of adversity, even when that adversity comes from the people closest to you. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and let me know in the comments. How would you handle someone trying to sabotage your dreams? Your story might just inspire our next piece.